Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man Sport Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor. Today, I'll be reacting to my third and final scary story channel, and this one is Spooky Vibes. And the video that I picked out to watch is 3 True Bowling Alley Horror Stories. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag, shall we? All right, here we go.
So, I used to work for this old rundown bowling alley a few years back.
Okay.
It was one of those alleys that only had 10 lanes, and our building was off the main road and hidden behind trees, so it never really got a lot of traffic. Well, one night, it was just me closing the bowling alley down for the night. It was a super slow day that day, and it was an easy job to close when it's that slow. Once 10 o'clock hit, I started my closing checkup rounds. I had to make sure that the whole place was clean, put away, and spotless for the opener tomorrow.
You know, if I was working in a bowling alley like that, where you barely get any traffic going through there, I'll probably have a field day. Because if there hardly ain't any customers there, I'll probably bowl myself. But also making sure nobody tries to break in and steal something, of course. Anyway, let's just see what happens next, shall we?
I was about to turn off the lights when I heard laughter. Like I said, the bowling alley isn't big. It's literally one big room with a back and bathrooms. When I heard the laugh, I did a 360. I know the laugh wasn't in my head. It sounded like laughter of a guy trying to hold in a funny joke. I quickly go to check the back room and the bathrooms, but the place was completely empty. I decided to chalk it up to just me hearing things.
I would do that as well, but then if it keeps on going, I would go to investigate, but also dial the police, because you never know if somebody broke in and they're just toying with you. And if you don't see nobody, I probably think it's haunted.
And went back to the front counter to grab my phone and food and then lock up and leave. But when I got to the front desk, my phone and food were not where I had left them. I had left them right there on the counter, but I could see that they were moved to the first bowling lane floor. I was completely baffled. First I heard the laugh, and now my stuff was moved. I was really freaked the hell out at this point, and just ran to the first lane and grabbed my phone and food. But as I grabbed my phone, I saw that I had a text. It was from an unknown number. I opened it up. The unknown number had sent a picture of me in real time in the bowling alley. It was a picture of me cleaning up maybe like 5 minutes ago. I literally locked the bowling alley up and rushed out to my car. I was so terrified that whoever was doing this was going to attack me at any second. Thankfully, no one did, and I made it home safely. I don't know whose laughter it was, or why they moved my stuff and took a stalker picture of me. Nothing ever came of this. The bowling alley I worked at was so shitty, it didn't even have cameras, so there was nothing that I could really do about it. I quit like a month after that happened, but I'm still traumatized by that night.
I mean, I'd be traumatized too, because if you're there closing up the bowling alley and all of a sudden you keep hearing somebody laughing, and then your food and phone was moved down to one of the lanes, and then you get a text message from an unknown number with a picture of you, that will automatically make me want to quit, because you got a stalker. But thankfully that person didn't get into a vehicle and follow you home. They were just toying with you, but I don't find it funny. I'm just glad this person's okay, so let's get to story number 2.
This story happened about 2 weeks ago, and it's still ongoing. I took my younger sister, Mia, out to bowling 2 Fridays ago. I won't say the actual name, but it happened a bit outside the Salt Lake City area in Utah. Anyway, it was us 2 bowling in our lane. We had just gotten our shoe sizes, and we were looking for bowling balls to use. I always go for a 12-pound ball, and my sister, who is 8 by the way, always goes for a 6-pound ball. I put our names into the system and click start now for our session to begin. Mia was up first, and I watched as she went to grab her ball. She put her fingers into the holes and let out this bloody murder scream. I rushed over to her. She was hysterically crying. I knelt down to level and saw that her left hand, specifically her fingers, were bleeding. I grabbed a bunch of napkins from the lane next to us and wrapped up her fingers.
I'd be wondering how in the world is her fingers bleeding unless that ball had something sharp in it. So somebody put their fingers in it, it'll cut them up. Oh man, whoever did that is really sick.
My sister was crying and kept repeatedly pointing at the bowling ball. I grabbed it and looked into the holes. Inside the bowling ball holes were these very tiny blades embedded into the sides. I actually couldn't believe it. I rushed her over to the hospital, and she had to be taken into the emergency room. I was so terrified that the blades were rusted, and what if my sister had an infection, or worse? But the doctors were able to patch up her fingers pretty well. They all needed stitches, but there was nothing else wrong with them. We had the police look into the razor blade bowling ball incident. They are working on it now, and there still hasn't been any progress on the case. They're trying to figure out how and who put the blades there, but it seems to me they're dragging their feet on it. I'm just thankful my little sister is okay. If I hear any updates, I'll be sure to let you know. Stay safe, everyone.
Well, dadgummit. These two sisters couldn't even enjoy a game without something like this happening. I guarantee you that some sick freak put them blades into the ball just so it would tear up somebody's fingers, especially if it was little kids. That's just not right. They're just sick a-holes. And I'm surprised the people at the bowling alley didn't even check the balls before they hand them over to this little girl to begin with. But apparently they are going to do it now, but the police need to hurry up and stop dragging their feet and see if they can get like security camera footage, ask questions to see if anybody was lurking around the balls and put them blades in them. But also I'll be suing the bowling alley for not making sure everything was safe. Can't believe we got a bunch of sick people in this world that would do something like that.
Yep, so this is a weird one. 5 years ago, when I used to work at Bowl of Worlds back in my hometown, I had the absolute strangest thing happen to me. It was a Saturday night, and we were busy. On the weekends, we get a lot of families or large parties who come in and stay all night long. Well, I was helping who was next in line, and this guy walks up. He was alone, and requesting one lane for 1 hour. Amazingly, we had an availability for him, despite it being pretty packed. He told me his shoe size, and then walked over to his lane to start bowling. Everything about the interaction with him was fine, but that's when I looked over at his lane. Maybe 10 minutes had passed since he had paid for a session. I was just glancing by when I noticed the guy was just standing at the front of his lane, looking down at the pins in the back. This might not seem odd, but he wasn't really moving. He was literally just standing there.
I wouldn't want to sound rude, but I'll be walking over there to see if everything's okay, because that is weird that he's just standing there and not even throwing the ball down his lane. But he's probably stalling for something. You never know.
Like, a few minutes went by when I saw him the first time, but when I looked back at him again, he was still standing at the front of his lane, all alone, with this blank stare on his face. I even had some of the other guests come up to the front desk and ask if he was okay. I mean, technically, he wasn't breaking any rules. He had paid for his lane, and he was using it however he wanted to. And if he wanted to stand there and just stare off into space, then that's on him. Well, when an hour finished, I finally had to go up to his lane and tell him that his time was up. He looked at me like I'd snapped him out of a trance or something. He looked me up and down, took his bowling shoes off, and put them back on the counter. I followed him closely and noticed that he was heading to the front doors barefoot. I had to know what this guy's deal was, so I quickly followed him out the front door, which led to our parking lot. I was trying to stay low and keep quiet, but I didn't need to. When I stepped out into the parking lot, I saw that guy run full sprint into the woods across the street. Again, he was barefoot. Oh, and it was like 11:30 at night at this point. I honestly couldn't believe what had just transpired. I wish I had brought my phone with me to record him sprinting into the woods. I tried so hard to understand why he did what he did that night. Like, why did he come into the bowling alley just to stand there for an hour, standing completely quiet, and then running off into the woods with no shoes? And the even weirder part is, I don't think he was on drugs or anything. I honestly think he was just some weirdo in town being very strange. and he paid with cash, so I don't even know what his first name is. I still live in that town, but I have a different job now, and I haven't seen that man anywhere since.
Yeah, that is weird. If he didn't act like he was on drugs, he was probably mentally disturbed and minor. He just basically wasted his money and time at the bowling alley just to stand there for 1 hour and not bowl. But then it's weird that he would run into the woods like he was trying to hide from the law, basically. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more spooky vibes related content like this. This has been another successful installment of Tin Man's Core channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and that's a wrap. And that's Dale.